Hello, my name is Terry Greer, and I am a commercial insurance agent in Austin, Texas, and I have a passion for working with tech startups, startups in general, and any technology company in the great state of Texas. So this is the first of many of video informational videos, whatever you want to call it. I try to answer questions and that sort of thing. So let's dive in. Today I want to tell you a story about a client of mine that I had earlier this year. And maybe this has happened to you, and I just want to relay this in hopes that there might be some value or some helpful nuggets in there for you. So you're a startup, you're excited, you've got your product operational, you've got the sales team going, you get your first big contract. Someone not just wants to do transactional business with you, but actually someone that says, hey, let's sit down, and they slide that contract across the table. It's thick, it's got scope of work, all kinds of things in there. I'm sure as a startup, you've already got your team assembled, right? Your mentors, maybe financial people, things like that. But buried down in that contract is an insurance clause. And so for the particular startup that I worked with, they were excited, they're cruising through all the things, they're checking the boxes, making sure that they can deliver the work that the contract says. And before they can proceed and actually sign the contract, the third party said to them, hey, what about the insurance? Do you have insurance in place? And they didn't have insurance, right? So then what do? They take to Google, or they take to asking friends. They go to Facebook. Actually, I always found via Facebook, but it's irrelevant. The point being is that you should probably think about putting that part of the process. If you haven't looked, when you get that contract, look at the insurance and put that more in the forefront of the process when you're looking at the financials to see if the whole contract makes sense. Because A, there's a cost associated with insurance, and B, there can be some challenges about getting the insurance that the requirements are, or that the contract might require. For example, if you're still with me, a lot of times when they're putting together the scope of work for you, that sort of thing, it might be tailored to you for your scope of work or your product. But the rest of it, the payment, the indemnity clause, the insurance clause, a lot of that can be boilerplate, meaning that they're using the same language and requirements for all of their vendors. They're not really tailoring it to you. So there might be crazy stuff in there for general liability, E&O of $5 million with these high limits. They might want an umbrella policy. They might want workman's comp. They might want several different kinds of things with a lot of language. They might want a waiver of subrogation. I don't want to bore you with all the jargon, but the point is that might be outside or might not be required for what you're actually doing for them. So my advice, here's the takeaway. My advice is first thing is engage your insurance agent or find an insurance agent that specializes in some type of technology, or at least has access to that can understand what your business is and can review those requirements. So just as you're pushing this out to other people, find a trusted agent, get that insurance clause in their hand along with your scope of work so they can start chewing on it to see if they can actually provide that. That's number one. So you can get an understanding of what this exposure is and what the cost would be. Number two, if there's crazy limits, step number one, and I'm talking like $5 million, you're brand new, maybe you have $500,000 in revenue or less, and they're asking for a $5 million E&O policy or errors and omissions. That's a little bit, could be considered a little bit excessive. We're going to talk about it in part 2 of this video. The first thing is give pushback. Give pushback to the vendor. Stand up to them in a polite, respectful way and say, can you review the insurance requirements, specifically how it matters, or specifically to our business and our scope of work? Is there any leeway there? I wouldn't even go back with numbers. I would just go back with, can you review the scope of insurance, the insurance requirements, based upon what we're actually going to be doing for you? Are these in line? And you might be surprised where they start waiving things very quickly because they realize that they don't really need that full-blown policy. That'll save you some money, get you some coverage so that you are protected in that relationship, but also lower your barrier to entry to enter that contract and start generating revenue for you. Hope this was helpful to you. My name is Terry Greer. That is my insurance site right there, insuranceboston.co. I would love to be your insurance agent. I can work anywhere in the state of Texas. My number is 512-948-8517. Give me a call. If you happen to see this video and you're outside the state of Texas and you're a startup and you just want to kind of talk through this process, give me a call. Send me an email. there's my website. I answer my phone. My iPhone is now doing the recording, so I can't answer it currently. But I would happy to be a resource for you and kind of coach you through the selection process of a good insurance agent. We're 5 minutes into the video. This is the episode number 1. Look for number 2, where I give you some more tips on how to deal with the insurance requirements in a contract as far as higher limits. Wishing you the best. Take care.